While we reacted to Fern's video yesterday, so it makes sense to do it today. Today we're reacting to how China's biggest scammer got caught. Make sure to subscribe to me and subscribe to Fern for more videos like this. Let's go.
UK police have been hunting this woman for 7 years.
Okay.
They're after her.
Who is this woman?
They're after her computers.
It's kind of... It's crazy that Fern has to add a disclaimer that our animations are made by humans.
They're after her.
This is how bad AI is getting, by the way. They have to put a disclaimer that it's not AI.
Biggest scams in Chinese history.
Ooh. And of course it has to do something with cryptocurrency. Of course. How else?
Marriage is destroyed. Life savings gone forever. And at the center of it all, her.
The mastermind of a multi-billion-dollar Bitcoin fraud.
Of course.
This is the
a scam wouldn't be a scam without cryptocurrency at this
story
point.
of an operation
Let's
run
be
from
fair.
deep within a ghost city. A daring escape, life in outrageous luxury, and dreams of ruling an entire country.
Ugh. Why would you want to rule a country? That's just unnecessary.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning in the Chinese province of Sichuan.
I forgot English. Great.
The day begins like any other. But then the ground begins to rumble, and a 7-magnitude earthquake rocks the entire region.
Okay. That's not cool.
Almost 200 people are killed. More than 13,000 are injured. Across 18 prefectures, hundreds of thousands of homes are destroyed. News of the disaster quickly spreads around the world. Donations begin pouring in. The Chinese charity One Foundation announces that it will also accept donations in Bitcoin. Within just 2 days, the organization receives a large number of Bitcoins, between 50 and 230, depending on the...
What the heck? 230 Bitcoins was only 30k back then?
Source.
Buddy, if only they knew.
In the weeks after the earthquake, Chinese state TV broadcast programs about the cryptocurrency. A program called The Mysterious Bitcoin explains what it is, how it works, and its meteoric rise in worth.
Yeah,
China Central Television, or CCTV, also airs an interview with a man who claims he made a 6-figure fortune through Bitcoin trading.
Okay, makes sense, yeah.
He'll later become famous as China's first Bitcoin billionaire. Bitcoin has officially been around since 2009, but in China, most people are now hearing about it for the very first time.
Well, yeah, most people only hear about it once it becomes successful. If it's not successful, no one's gonna care about it.
Bitcoin quickly starts gaining traction nationwide. China's main search engine, Baidu, begins accepting it as a payment method. Soon after, so does the online shopping platform Taobao. Later on in 2013,
this quickly?
2 new Bitcoin exchanges emerge. In the months that follow, more and more people in China start buying the cryptocurrency.
Okay, smart, yeah.
Demand pushes the global price even higher.
So that's why Bitcoin went up, because of China.
For one woman in particular.
Okay.
This is Zhimin Qian. Her biography is difficult to piece together. A reconstruction is largely based on a detailed profile published by the Chinese magazine China Newsweek. Right now, it's early 2014. Zhimin Qian is 36 years old and lives here in Tianjin, a sprawling metropolis with more than 11 million residents. The city was supposed to keep growing. There were plans for new office towers, luxury apartments, and a bustling financial district. One neighborhood was even expected to become China's new Manhattan. But construction stalls.
Don't make a new Manhattan, please. Don't do it.
Tianjin look abandoned. Some start calling it a ghost city. Wages are low in China, and consumer prices are rising fast.
Wait, so if wages were low in China, how did it become a powerhouse today? Like, it's legit one of the richest countries, like one of the most influential countries in the world now.
Registration rules to boost the economy. Entrepreneurs can now register their companies more quickly, and they need less startup capital. The reforms lead to a massive startup boom. Across China, thousands of businesses are registered every day. But Qian is already a step ahead of everyone else.
Okay. What'd she do? What did he do?
She and a couple of business partners founded a company, UBS International Group Limited Hong Kong. At the time, instead of a real name, she uses an alias, Li Xia.
What is it?
The business has partnered with a company that produces and distributes.
Why? What does International Group Limited? It means nothing. At least other companies have make sense of their name. What is
It's
International
Camellia Oil.
Group Limited?
People in East Asia
That's
have been
just
using
a
it for things
nothing
like
burger.
Skin and hair care for centuries.
Burger.
This is what Qian's business strategy allegedly looks like. UBS
Okay.
promotes the Camellia oil and advertises group tours to the partner company's Camellia production sites. But to be able to actually buy the products, customers first need to purchase a membership. That costs 2,800 yuan. Members who recruit others
Why would you need a membership to buy a product? It's not a streaming service. You're not just gonna... It's a physical product. You can just sell it.
qualify for extra.
That already seems
It
sketch.
seems Qian
No.
herself is rarely seen at the office. Day-to-day operations are reportedly handled by her employees. For
Okay.
a while, business seems to run smoothly. But in May 2013, the Camellia Oil Company ends the partnership. And about a month later, things get worse. The company website starts malfunctioning and third-party payment
Okay.
accounts are frozen. A little later, Qian sends her employees a text message. "Don't worry, I'm collecting money for us."
What?
Then police raid the company's headquarters.
Oh, great.
But Qian is nowhere to be found.
Oh, she pump and
Since
dumped.
making her
Okay.
escape, Qian has been extremely cautious. She reportedly even avoids taking the bus to keep authorities from tracking her movements.
Fair enough,
Presumably,
yeah.
She'd have to show her ID when boarding public transportation. The UBS venture may have been little more than a way
Why, is China's like regulation for bus fares just that bad, that strict? Why would you need to show ID on a
to
bus?
experiment with different business
You only
strategies.
show it if
She'll go on to use much of what she
for a
learned here
checkup
in her later
maybe, but
endeavors. And she already
for
has a
no
new
reason.
idea,
Why?
one that will forever change her life.
I mean, I
and
guess for
the lives
safety
of
measures,
countless
it makes
others.
sense.
Maybe you've had an idea recently. Not one that would change countless lives, or at least not one that would ruin any. But each time you want to get started on it, it just turns into a whole thing. Pick a platform, figure out the information, and make it look not terrible. So you sort of give up. We just launched Roots, our newsletter. We've got a talented team, a developer, an idea, and a platform. Most people don't, and that's kind of the point. With our sponsor, Emergent, you can build a landing page like this without the technical skills. By describing instead of coding, you can keep refining things as you go, changing the design and adding features and reorganizing without starting from scratch. And while we were at it, we asked for a simple form so readers can suggest stories for us to cover.
No.
Another company. Tianjin Lantian Gure Electronic Technology. It's widely known as Lantian Gure, which means blue sky. Qian seems to know exactly what she wants to sell, and to whom. China's home to roughly
Okay.
200 million elderly people. About 1 in 6 citizens is over 60.
That's
and
actually a
many of
good
them are
pyramid,
lonely.
though. I've learned about this, that this kind of pyramid is really, really good.
About 1
As
in
far
6
as I
citizens
remember,
is
yeah.
over 60, and many of them are lonely. In the past, families often had several children. Siblings
Okay,
could share
yeah.
the responsibility of caring for their parents and grandparents.
But then they stopped having children.
But in 1979, China introduced a one-child policy to help curb its rapid population growth. From that point forward, fewer children were born.
I mean, yeah, you made it a one-child policy, but at the same time, now that your population's kind of going down a little quicker than expected, maybe you should bump it up to 2?
Most parents had just one child,
Hmm.
who often had to care for the family's older generations on their own. At
Yeah.
the same time, more and more younger people left their hometowns to study or work in major cities. As a
Yeah.
result, many
There you go.
elderly people were left to live alone. In 2013, the government responded by introducing a new law. Adult children are now legally required to visit their parents frequently and be attentive to their emotional needs. For Qian,
I mean, that's a good thing, but why should that be a law? I understand, yes, you should visit your parents, yes, on your own accord, not because you're forced to, on your own accord.
people are the perfect.
Why?
She seems to understand exactly how to exploit their loneliness and their anxieties. Step by step, she begins building a manipulative business empire. Step 1. The front. Qian's company sells a range of health products. One is the Life Bracelet. It has an integrated GPS tracking chip, so whoever wears it can supposedly be located within 15 meters of their current
It's called a
In
Xiaomi
an
Mi
emergency,
Band.
An elderly person just has to press the red button and an ambulance will be with them within 10 minutes. The
Okay.
product taps directly into one of older
Still a
people's
Xiaomi
biggest
Mi Band.
fears, being alone and helpless during a medical emergency. That helps build trust in Qian and her company. And if you trust a company with your health, you may eventually trust it with your savings too.
Okay.
Step 2.
Sure.
The plan. Qian isn't really trying to sell health products. To push her actual business model, she hires promoters all across China. Qian claims that Lantian Gure is mining Bitcoin, that it's setting up high-powered Bitcoin mines all across China to generate more crypto units. And for that, she needs money. Step 3. The promise. Qian is looking for investors. She probably uses WeChat to advertise and close deals. Apparently, investors can choose from special financial packages. These reportedly range from 30,000 to 60,000 yuan, or roughly 4,200 to 8,000.
So advertising a Bitcoin mining operation is the same as advertising an NFT. Oh yeah, pay us $1 million for a monkey profile picture and it will double in price. How the fuck is it gonna double in price?
$400. The terms range from 12 to 30 months.
This is just a pump and dump, no?
Wired to Qian's firm directly. Instead, investors first transfer them to local promoters advertising the service, who then pass it on to Qian. In return, she promises them daily dividends and a 200 to 600% profit for each contract. Qian and her company seem to have been selling the idea of collective prosperity. Invest for just 3 years and you'll be able to secure the financial future of the next 3 generations of your family. Step 4. The scheme. Qian skillfully rides the wave of Bitcoin frenzy. It helps that many of her investors aren't very financially literate. Her company produces glossy promotional videos.
The issue is that most people, are financially literate. So why would you invest without looking twice into anything?
Life of wealth and luxury in the United Kingdom, a country that carries a certain prestige in China. On her blog, Qian posts poems about social responsibility. We must love the elderly with the infatuation of a first romance. Poetry has always been an important part of Chinese traditional culture. Poems are meant to entertain and convey values like respect, family duty, and social order. Maybe that's why Qian's vision resonates with so many people. She also emphasizes that her company would help further China's goal of becoming a global leader in technology. She even claims that she'll one day donate the company to the Chinese government. Her patriotic message lands with investors. But one investor will later claim
issue is you can make a lot of promises. It's so difficult to trust a promise because every single political head breaks them. Every single one. Anyone who has power will break a promise. They're never going to be truthful.
Chinese citizens. In reality, she went much further than that. It's autumn in Beijing. More than 1,000 people have gathered here today. Many have already invested in Qian's company, Lantian Gure. Others are still considering it. But all of them are here to see the woman behind the business. So far, they know almost nothing about her, only that she reportedly holds a PhD in mathematics and cryptography, and that she works so hard she barely has time to sleep. Qian rarely appears in public. She almost exclusively communicates through the poems she posts on her blog.
So she doesn't even she does appear
most
online.
of them, her face is partially concealed. Even today, she's wearing a veil. Nobody here knows her real name. Her investors call her Hua Hua, or Little Flower. Qian enters in a wheelchair. Her investors lift her above their heads and carry her towards the stage.
Jesus Christ,
They're
straight up
chanting the company's
bullshit.
promise, 3 generations of wealth. Events like this happen regularly.
I mean, hey, she's good at faking. The phrase "fake it till you make it" is really good on her because she's good at it.
Usually inside large, prestigious halls. Attendants usually aren't allowed to bring their phones or take photos or video. Maybe because Qian wants to remain anonymous. After all, she's been trying to stay under the radar ever since fleeing Hefei. The gatherings are massive.
Wouldn't you as an investor think, why is the one I'm investing to hiding? What the fuck do you have to hide from? You're doing the right thing. Wouldn't you want to show your face? Wouldn't you want the credibility? Why are you hiding your face?
And vouching for the company. One speaker is the son-in-law of Mao Zedong, the late founding father of the People's Republic. Mao remains a deeply respected figure in China, especially among older generations.
Is he? I thought he was like a bad
the
man,
atmosphere
no?
of these promotional events is frenetic.
Maybe not.
One investor will later tell The Observer that people were captivated by Qian as soon as she opened her mouth. After her speeches, people would battle their way to the front with their credit cards ready. Another investor says, that bunch of promoters, they'd take something red and persuade you it was white, take something black and convince you it was red. Apparently, there were also private meetings with Qian. Those who invested more than $800,000 were reportedly invited to more intimate events. One attendee says everyone in the room was starstruck. They saw her as their goddess of wealth.
Oh yeah, goddess of wealth who didn't even study finance.
Over time, more and more people pour money into Qian's growing business empire. Public servants, school teachers, widows, and retirees. They're all hoping crypto will turn their modest life savings into a fortune. Most are between 50.
You really can't trust someone that will do something for you. Like, yeah, you have to mostly do yourself. You can't just give money to someone and expect them to randomly do it.
And 75
you have to do the work for yourself.
By 2017, Qian has attracted more than 128,000 investors across China and collected more than 40 billion yuan, roughly $6.1 billion. But she hasn't been keeping her promise to use their money to create new crypto.
Of course she hasn't been keeping her promise.
Back in 2014,
no one ever
she used
does.
An associate's name to open an account in the Huobi cryptocurrency exchange, which today is called HTX, and she transferred investors' money into that account, exchanging it for Bitcoin.
HTX.
At first,
wasn't FTX
exactly
a thing and now it's like bankrupt?
Daily dividends. Anyone who recruits friends or relatives gets even more. One investor would tell the people,
literally a pyramid scheme. Isn't this quite literally a pyramid scheme?
He and his wife were receiving 100 yuan a day, roughly $14. They were so hooked, they directly reinvested this into the company and kept borrowing to invest more on top of it. They didn't know that these payouts weren't actually coming from crypto profits. They were funded by new investors. It was a classic Ponzi scheme.
Oh, a Ponzi scheme, yeah, not a pyramid scheme.
Pouring in new money. One investor would later say he never suspected a thing. After a few years of this, some investors were invited to visit the company's Bitcoin mines, and the trip inspired some of them to invest.
Okay, it's fair. She knew what she was doing. She took advantage of the people that didn't know shit.
And more money.
Apparently.
Hundreds of investors have traveled from Shenyang and other cities to Tianjin. The outskirts of the city are lined with warehouse after warehouse. One was built on a vacant lot. On the front is the slogan, Tianjin Blue Sky Gure Bitcoin Warehouse. This must be it. But when the investors go inside, none of the mining machines are working. An employee tells them
I wonder
they
why.
intentionally turn them off to avoid exposing them to radiation. Most of the investors don't question.
What the fuck? And they don't question it? Buddy, if Bitcoin mining was radioactive, it wouldn't be this accessible. Wouldn't you think for a second, if this is accessible, why? If this is so easily accessible, why should it be radioactive? Why would you couldn't legally allow someone to be this close without proper fucking suits, even if it's turned off because it pumped out radiation? What the fuck?
They were eventually sold as scrap for 30 yuan apiece.
What?
For 3 years, Qian's operation appears to run smoothly. New investors keep joining, and their money funds pay.
Do they not know how radiation works?
But in 2017, Chinese authorities finally get suspicious and launch an investigation.
Only now.
The Bitcoin hype is reaching fever pitch, at least among the Chinese public. By now, the country has become one of the largest cryptocurrency markets in the world. But Bitcoin and other digital currencies are also used for criminal activities like money laundering, drug trafficking, and smuggling.
I still can't believe it. They actually believed a radioactive incident.
There are
you
risks to
kidding
financial
me?
stability, and they undermine
3
government
years,
control
and
of
they
the
believe
fiscal
that.
system. So Chinese authorities
Knowing
crack
full well how a Bitcoin is being mined and that it causes zero radiation or very little radiation.
They plan to tighten control over Bitcoin mining and trading. From there, they start closing in on Qian's company. Today, the authorities strike a coordinated blow. Raids take place across Tianjin. Lan Tiangure's employees are rounded up, but there's no trace of their boss.
Obviously, she ran away.
Qian has likely been preparing her escape for months. She purchased several forged passports, including one from a Caribbean.
As soon as those inspectors first came, she already started packing up her shit and running.
And is traveling under
I would too.
Yadi Jiang.
Because I knew someone was up
She also
onto me.
transferred her bitcoins from the Huobi exchange into several private crypto wallets.
Okay.
The wallets are stored locally on her laptop. But as with any cryptocurrency, they don't contain the actual bitcoins. just the digital keys needed to prove ownership and access them. At this point, Qian's wallets hold about 70,000 bitcoins. At the time, they're worth almost $400 million.
It's worth hell of a lot more now.
Whether Qian knew the raid was coming, and if she did, who might have tipped her off? Maybe she bribed a corrupt official.
I mean, who might have tipped her off? The fact that she already got inspected once tipped her off. And she already knew that someone's gonna catch up to her bullshit eventually.
Either way, she's on
because Bitcoin mining doesn't do radiation! It's not a nuclear factory!
Thailand, Laos, and Malaysia. According to London's Metropolitan Police, she eventually boards a first-class flight from Kuala Lumpur to London. On September 16, 2017, she arrives at Heathrow Airport. She isn't carrying any luggage or her laptop. She moves into a mansion in London's affluent Hampstead neighborhood.
Okay.
The rent is more than £17,000 a month. She also opens an account with Harrods, one of the world's most exclusive department stores. Over the following months, she spends more than £90,000 on designer jewelry and clothing.
Why? Isn't your money technically got illegally? So if you deposit Bitcoin into your actual wallet, won't it get tracked and then, you know,
she travels across Europe too.
Something ain't that up? How the fuck did you get that much Bitcoin? Or am I like missing
something? She keeps attracting
something?
people and getting them to break the law for her.
Of course.
Just a few weeks after arriving in London, Qian meets a woman named Zhan Wen. Wen is 37 and works at a Chinese takeaway. The two get along well. Before long, Wen moves into Qian's mansion. Officially, she's Qian's caretaker. In reality, she also becomes her trusted accomplice. For example, Qian sends her to Thailand to retrieve the laptop she abandoned on her way to the UK. Once Qian can access her bitcoins again, the two start spending some serious money.
They would just message about, like, going to buy jewelry, right? Like, we've had a stressful day.
Isn't that easily traceable?
Once we're done with this, let's cash out the Bitcoin. Let's go to jewelry
Like,
street,
actually, wouldn't your bank call you and ask you, where the fuck did you get that money from?
And then the other
You're not on any registered list of the most richest Bitcoin millionaires. How the fuck did you have that much?
Wen will later tell the courts that Qian spent most of her time in bed, playing video games and shopping online. As Bitcoin's value keeps rocketing, she seems to be achieving what she once promised her clients. Getting rich lying down. She isn't afraid to dream big either. In her diary, she documents her bold plans for the years to come.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Qian wants to found her own bank, buy a castle in Sweden, and build a relationship with a British duke. She also dreams of becoming Queen of Liberland, a small stretch of land between Croatia and Serbia right along the Danube River. The territory isn't officially recognized as a micronation, but its inhabitants consider it an independent republic with democratic elections. Qian has ambitious plans for the 7-square-kilometer region. She wants to build a harbor, an airport, and the world's largest Buddhist temple. In Liberland, Qian would find herself among like-minded people. Its self-proclaimed prime minister...
Oh, like-minded people who love to scam others in a Ponzi scheme. Okay, wow, that's a great community.
Crypto billionaire Justin Sun.
Oh, here you go.
Founded his own blockchain network. He also controls the Huobi crypto exchange, where Qian used to store her bitcoins. In her imagination, becoming a monarch will entitle her to a diplomatic passport and immunity from prosecution. She even sets aside a budget of £5 million to buy herself a crown and scepter. The sky's the limit. She also dreams of the Dalai Lama anointing her a reincarnated goddess.
Oh, good God.
But for now, Qian is still here in London.
What's with the ego?
Living in a rented house.
Ugh.
Among other things, she claims to run a successful
Also, what the wait. Oh my God.
Living in a rented house.
How is this 18,000 GBP a month, by the way? This is at max. At max, maybe 2,000 a month. Excuse me? What?
Among other things, she claims to run a successful jewelry business.
What?
To fund her
This
lifestyle,
has to be a circus.
She converts bitcoins to regular currency, but large deposits would probably make her bank suspicious.
Yes.
So she has to conceal where the money really comes from. In other words, she needs to launder it. And one of the oldest tricks in the book is real estate. So she plans to buy expensive properties to turn her dirty money into seemingly legitimate.
Yeah, but how would you explain the bank where you got the money to buy the property? What?
Assets. Qian and Wen start looking for the right London luxury home.
What?
They make 3 attempts
Is it
to buy
how is that actually a loophole?
The most expensive is listed at 23.5 million. But their efforts are hampered by their difficulties converting enough bitcoins into cash, and by British anti-money laundering regulations and their so-called know your customer questions. Questions like these are designed to detect money laundering schemes. The first round of scrutiny often comes from the real estate agent, the second from the bank. Apparently, Wen's answers to these questions are unconvincing, and realtors and lawyers reject her bids to buy the properties.
Very good. Fucking good.
Shortly after, London's Metropolitan Police are tipped off about a suspicious bank account. The money in it is believed to come from criminal activity. The officers decide to take a closer look. Once they have the necessary court orders, they gain access to the account, and their suspicion grows. With reasonable grounds to suspect that the money is dirty, they freeze the account.
Okay,
They also send an email to the account holder. It's Wen.
Of course.
Investigators are closing in on her. They know where she lives. They're just waiting for a search warrant. When they finally enter the house, they find 2 people, Wen and an unknown woman. Lying in bed, she claims her name is Yeri Zhang. The officers have no idea who they're really talking to.
So you don't normally live here?
Yeah.
And where
why
are you from?
lying?
Where is your country?
I think they believe
China.
that she was a sick relative and not the mastermind of a multi-billion-dollar Bitcoin fraud.
As they raid the house,
Fair
the
enough.
officers find 300,000 pounds in cash and checks. They also seize laptops, memory cards, and a large amount of paperwork. But for the time being, neither of the women is arrested.
Why
The
not?
police search the confiscated computer.
Why the hell not are they not arrested? They're the only plaintiffs, or they're the only suspects that should be questioned. Like, how did the money go? One of them is living.
Several crypto
What?
wallets, but accessing the
Leave
wallets
no
and the cryptocurrency they
witnesses.
contain requires
Every
the
witness
correct
should be
encryption
under
keys.
custody.
In the course of their investigation, the Metropolitan Police eventually obtain them. They find over 71,000 bitcoins stored in 7 wallets. It's
That's
the largest Bitcoin
crazy.
seizure in British history, but it isn't Qian's entire fortune. In August 2020, police returned to her house for a second raid, but this time, she isn't there. She's gone missing again.
When was the last time you spoke?
Yes, of course. Obviously, the first raid tipped her off and she's gonna run away. And because they didn't arrest her, she could just go scot-free.
This time,
Good job.
there's just Wen.
Smart, yeah.
The investigation takes its course,
Smart.
and 2 years later, she's arrested and charged with money laundering. In 2024, she's sentenced to 6 years and 8 months in prison. After parting ways with Wen, the fugitive Qian moves into an inconspicuous townhouse in York. Several employees work for her illegally, taking care of her everyday needs. Everyone in the house has to follow a strict set of rules. The staff isn't allowed to use Bluetooth or phones from Chinese brands. They're limited to only certain social media platforms. They can't disclose the house's address or even log into its Wi-Fi network.
What?
And they're strictly forbidden from taking photos or videos of Qian. All these requirements are neatly laid out in confidentiality agreements later obtained by the Metropolitan Police.
Yeah, that
Anyone
makes
who breaks
sense.
The rules
Because,
faces hefty
well,
financial penalties and will be fired on the spot.
I mean, your NDA doesn't hold value if it's illegal. You can't force someone to pay you a 10,000 fine if the job is illegal. What the fuck? Okay, he gets fired. You ask him to pay a 10,000 fine. He goes to the police and he tells you, yeah, this woman is running an illegal operation. Here's her address. Fuck off. This 10,000 USD fine is nothing.
Qian also seeks the help of a Malaysian
Bullshit.
national named Seng Hok Ling. According to Ling himself,
I'm pretty sure everyone who signed the NDA is aware that it's an illegal operation.
the two first
That
met in
10,000
Germany in
USD fine is
2019. He'll later
nothing.
testify he believed Qian was a legitimate businesswoman. But Qian plans to use
The fuck
him
would
to
she do? The fuck would she do if someone came to her and someone said on a paper, she tells you, yeah, if you break these rules, you pay a 10,000 fine. You look to her and say, okay, I'm not gonna pay you shit. I'm gonna go to the police and tell everything about this. And what the fuck you gonna
Once
do?
again, launder
You can't
money.
sue me.
British authorities have
Who do you
seized
think
most
you
of her
are?
bitcoins, but she still controls other crypto wallets worth around 62 million pounds.
Because you hold an
She
insane
gives Ling money to purchase
leverage over
properties in
her.
Dubai in her
You
behalf.
hold information.
But Ling is closely following Wen's criminal trial. By now, he knows that both women have been involved in criminal activity, and maybe he's beginning to realize that he's much more involved in their schemes than he'd like. One day, he starts Googling February 2024.
305
For 6
million.
years, Metropolitan Police investigators have been monitoring Qian's crypto wallets. The bitcoins inside them are now worth roughly 1.5 billion pounds. In all these years, there hasn't been a single transaction, no indication that Qian has touched her fortune.
I mean, she can't really.
She just transferred 8.2 bitcoins to another exchange account. The account is registered in Ling's name, and the investigators embark on a manhunt.
Oh
They
no.
want to know whether Ling and Qian are in touch. The trail leads them to Scotland and northern England.
Okay.
Then one day, Qian suddenly appears.
There
on
she
surveillance
is.
cameras.
There's our culprit.
By now, they're convinced Ling is working for her. They could move in right now, but there can't be any loose ends this time. They need airtight proof that Qian's bitcoins are tied directly to the fraud case in China. They want to know for sure where exactly the bitcoins came from. A blockchain specialist helps them follow the money through its transaction history to see who received the bitcoins when. Chinese authorities provide them with a list of bank accounts connected to the scam. The investors Qian deceived are said to have deposited money into 294 different Chinese bank accounts. They received payouts from 48 different accounts.
Okay.
With that information, investigators re-examine the electronic devices they seized in their first raid. And voila, many of the account numbers provided by the Chinese authorities also appear on the confiscated laptops. Now the connection is clear.
Yeah,
and Qian is
there
directly
you
linked
go.
to the fraud in China. At last, a judge gives the Metropolitan Police the green light.
Yep.
Qian hears something. There's someone inside the house. Moments later, someone kicks in the door to her room.
Yeah, it deserves.
7 years on the run, they finally found her.
You're under arrest. You're going to be arrested for money laundering, Section 329, Proceeds of Crime Act.
And this time, there's nowhere left to go.
Yeah. Finally, they can detain her
Qian and Ling's
instead of
trial
last
ends
time.
today. The hearing is public, but the courtroom is so small that only a handful of people fit inside.
I sat on the floor at one point. There wasn't a lot of room.
Damn.
Aisha is one of the few journalists in the room. She followed the last days of the trial for The Guardian.
It was just a fairly sober atmosphere.
Qian sits inside a glass dock. From the public gallery, it's difficult to get a good look at her. Throughout the proceedings, she doesn't say a word. Everything she wants to say, she communicates through her lawyer. She remained largely silent when the police questioned her too. Her only
I mean, yeah, if you're being questioned, the less you say, the less you're likely to get twisted and caught.
Victim of false allegations made by the Chinese authorities. She also felt that she would die soon, and that this had been her last chance to spend some money.
The thing I noticed was that the defense's statements really didn't land at all. And the defense sort of spoke briefly in the last day of the proceedings, talking about how their client had been a model prisoner.
Qian's lawyer later claims that she and her company only ever wanted to help people accumulate wealth. But the reality...
No, we're not spewing that bullshit.
Lawyer later claims that she and her company only ever wanted to help people accumulate wealth.
No, you made a Ponzi scheme and you were the one who profited from it. If you wanted to help other people reinvest and become richer, you would have done that. Instead, you flee to England, where you spent £18,000 a month on a house and bought from Harrods. Cut the bullshit.
Poverty. One tells the BBC that he sometimes had so little money left he would have to survive on a single pack of instant noodles for 15 days.
Wow.
Another says Qian's scheme destroyed his marriage and led to him being estranged from his son. Others say they contemplated suicide. Ling is sentenced to 4 years and 11 months in prison.
Wait, so why is he only getting 4 years when he also helped the same way as the woman? What is this? Give him 7 years as well. What the fuck?
8 months.
It seemed like, from my impression of her, that she maybe had hoped things would go a little differently. She burst into tears.
I mean, obviously she would have hoped. She wanted to spend money and live scot-free after scamming a bunch of people and ruining their lives. Obviously she wanted to...
It looked like she was upset by the verdict.
After the ruling,
course.
Qian's lawyer emails a statement to the press. Bitcoin pioneer Ms. Qian, once the world's largest female BTC holder, accepts her conviction and the mistakes that led to it. Many of her former investors feel betrayed, and some demand compensation. In China, some investors appeal to the Supreme People's Court, the State Council, and other national institutions.
I hope they get
Not
their
to
money back.
condemn Qian's actions, but to ask for an explanation as to why her company was shut down. One still sees Qian as the goddess of the crypto world. He would die for her, and he
Who's the
wishes she'd
idiot?
return.
Who's the
We
idiot?
tried to speak to some of the investors for this video, but almost everyone we contacted turned down our interview requests.
That's fair.
Only one woman agreed to talk, but she had a condition. We had to promise that we'd help her get her money back.
Yeah. Fair.
Apparently, a few people did. This article says Chinese authorities used confiscated assets from Qian's company to compensate some former investors.
They said 8% and 5%. Okay, interesting. Is that 5% or percent? I don't know.
They received a small percentage of the money they put in. But it
Why a
remains
small percentage? Where's the rest going to? Hello? Is the government just gonna take it?
unclear whether
The
all
fuck?
the victims in China will ever recover their investments. First, they have to prove that they actually invested in Qian's company. And that may be difficult since many
How could that be difficult if you can just send them a report of you sending money to the company and you can track. And there's also 294 accounts or 48 accounts that sent money. So you surely should have one of those accounts, right?
deposits weren't sent directly to her, but to the accounts of local promoters operating on her behalf.
Yeah, so local promoters on her behalf are part of her. They're her employees. What the fuck? Doesn't that count as her? You literally directly sent money to her directors or whatever, to her employees. So surely that counts. What the fuck?
For now, the seized assets remain frozen in the UK. British law classifies them as recoverable amounts, meaning authorities must first determine whether victims are really entitled to compensation.
Yes,
Only
they
then can
are.
the state touch the
Because
money.
it was a Ponzi
Decisions on the
scheme.
application.
If they weren't applicable, then she wouldn't be arrested. She literally got arrested for money laundering, mind you. So the victims are applicable by default. Else, if they're not applicable, then why is she being arrested for money
Are
laundering?
expected later on in 2026. Who knows? Maybe some of Qian's
No, pay them back. What? And the rest who, unfortunately, rest in peace, people who have taken their lives or have passed away, unfortunately, then do a donation to a charity or something. I don't know. Not keep it to the government.
investors will get
Jesus.
rich.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, because it's just weird how they operate. This recoverable man bullshit, like, come on. She wouldn't be arrested either way. But I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Please subscribe, and peace!